Have you ever thought, guys, what's the world going to be like once this whole pandemic palaver's done? Well, find out today. I'm here with Toad Jizzle, Mini Minter, and Zerka HD, and we're going to see the 10 ways the world will change after COVID-19.
Oh.
All right, let's get it started.
10 ways the world will change after COVID.
That's a voice I trust.
Number 10. Interaction.
Oh, sorry. I'm going to make a prediction. I saw it on Twitter. No, you can't blow on a birthday cake anymore.
Bro,
it makes sense, right? It makes sense.
It's disgusting that we actually ever did it.
Like our germs all over the whole cake, and then we all go eat the cake together.
Well, I mean, you don't need to blow like down at the cake.
No, kids do. They go
travel, bro.
Oh,
all over it, bro.
Yeah, they do. You kiss other people, man. Allow it. Do what you want.
How many times do you kiss
them? Live, innit? Nothing matters.
It's just in the best vibes.
Interacting with others is probably the first thing the pandemic has changed. In just a few months, the simple act of meeting and engaging with people drastically changed. What's even more alarming than that is the fact that now, after a year, we're used to it. In fact, some think the way we'll approach others may have changed forever from now on. One of the best qualities of human beings is their quick adaptability to life-changing challenges. If you think about the experience of your past year, you'll find that's the case. Losing the ability to make physical contact with other humans wasn't easy, and it still isn't, but you did manage to do it. It's this universal capacity for change that led many experts, like psychology professor Robin Dunbar, to believe that once this nightmare is over, it won't be as easy to get back to where we left off. In fact, according to Dunbar, the psychological impact social distancing regulations might have had on our brains is so strong that in a post-vaccine world, we might feel actual discomfort doing social activities.
Oh no.
Number 9. Grocery shopping.
I thought this was going to be a good video.
Harry.
No, I was supposed
sure,
to No. I have faith. I'm sure there'll be good stuff in there somewhere.
Shopping was an option, and I've even used it maybe a couple of times. But online services like this really kicked off with the advent of COVID-19. However, when the pandemic forced us all into our houses, the online shopping industry boomed. It was the fastest and safest way to avoid long lines of strangers and crazy shoppers fighting over toilet paper. Unfortunately, everyone soon realised the convenience of online shopping, and for a while, it became almost impossible to find delivery slots.
Yep.
But now that people have calmed down and the stores incremented their delivery services, the majority of shoppers now seem to prefer online shopping. Just consider that according to Forbes, about a year ago, 81% of consumers had never bought groceries online.
What?
Today, 79% of shoppers prefer to order online instead. And even after COVID, it seems pretty clear now the world of grocery shopping will never be the same.
Good point, you know. What people now, old people have realised they don't have to go and trek it down to the shops.
It's good for them to go to shops, though. It keeps them healthy.
Yeah.
I guess they can choose.
Not if they catch something when they're there.
True.
Ooh.
What if there is no after COVID-19?
I was going to say, it's like it's going to...
What if it just carries on?
Why would you say that? Please.
They said that this morning on the news.
We're living with it. We're not going to get past it. I know.
There's no such thing as COVID-0, yeah.
So if it becomes normal, then surely we just go back to normal anyway, because we don't really care anymore.
Yeah, it'd just be a case of we'd have to have a lot more like vaccines and stuff throughout like every year or whatever, every 2 years.
I never got a flu vaccine anyway, so.
Toby.
Same.
Number 8. Travel and transport.
Oh, this will be fine, right?
Travelling. Remember what that feels like? Personally,
No,
I
don't think any of them are
but
gonna be
maybe
fine.
you're one of those.
The whole thing is it's not going to be fine.
Travelling during the pandemic. If so, you will surely know that after a short period of total shutdown worldwide, airports soon reopened and adapted their services to these challenging times. Before I get any further into this, regulations and procedures may vary according to the countries, airports, even airlines. Still, there are some standard procedures applied more or less everywhere. For one, sanitising stations, social distancing floor stickers and nasal swabs are now basic routines.
Ugh.
This doesn't mean we'll have to take nasal swabs every time we travel in the future, I hope not. But like for many other fields, the travel industry has learned and improved on a lot of factors here. As reported by NBC News, industry experts believe some of the current protocols may outlast the pandemic. This is especially relevant to technologies developed and improved during the past year, like sanitising robots, restrooms that automatically alerts maintenance crews when cleaning is needed, and contactless check-ins.
That's
This
good.
stuff's all
That's all
like,
good.
That's handy.
yeah.
That's handy. That's handy.
That's just good.
I think maybe like people would travel less initially, right? And if I think eventually you're just gonna start taking it for granted, just go back out to normal again, surely.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Because there was like an article. There's an article that said like, long distance travel won't come back to normality until like 2023, 2024, like long haul flights.
What?
Wait,
Like America, Australia, and stuff. That was on like Sky News.
8-hour flights.
Yeah, they won't be normality for ages, apparently.
Okay, so we can still go like somewhere
Spain.
though.
We can go Benidorm still.
We can still
but-
go.
Yeah, we can go see Sticky Vicky whenever you want.
Sticky Vicky.
With the outbreak of the pandemic, production ceased, fashion retailers closed, and demand has plummeted. Not to mention the partial or in some cases total cancellation of fashion shows. It's been a tough time for the fashion industry. However, after this seemingly catastrophic effect, the pandemic also gave the world of fashion a chance to rethink and rearrange themselves to meet contemporary and more ethical standards. As a matter of fact, we could say an ethical revolution has finally taken place in the peaks of the industry. In May of 2020, Gucci announced that they would abandon the worn-out ritual of seasonality with their shows and will focus their efforts in trying to reduce the environmental impact of the industry. But they're not the only ones. As Vogue editor Anna Wintour pointed out, by the end of the pandemic, the values of fashion will have shifted permanently to a more ethical and sustainable system. Let's hope, like the non-profit global movement Fashion Revolution does.
Wait, is it Ill Vision? Is that okay?
No, don't worry, we're doing that.
Yeah, we're both working on sustainability.
And development directly to the people who make our clothes. Will technology aid in the production line, in a similar way to how traditional fashion shows have instead migrated to online? We'll have to wait and see. Number 6. Masks. Before COVID-19, very few in Western countries ever considered wearing a mask on a daily basis. But these days, it's considered very important in public settings to wear one. But scientists and sociologists are suggesting people will keep wearing them even once the pandemic ends. In support of this theory, experts such as Emeritus Professor William Shao, Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public
You guys
Health,
are going to carry on wearing
It
masks.
makes sense to it in certain situations, though. Like, right, if you're on the tube and stuff, it'd make more sense now.
Yeah,
If I was feeling sick and I was going on the tube, maybe, but I'd, like...
And in
But I
certain
guess it would-
seasons,
but then-
like, for example,
but Harry,
when
it would-
flu comes round, you'd wear one surely.
Yeah.
And also, you're going to be like, our decision will be affected by everyone else around us. Like, if we go on the tube and you're the one Donny like there without a mask, everyone's like, beady-eyed looking at you, like, what the fuck are you doing?
You know what? I'll say it's good anyway because you can go incognito with a mask on. It's very handy. Put your hood up,
People
like,
recognise
true.
us with the masks, bro. It's actually long.
but yeah, not as much though, mate. Not like.
Yeah, with less bait. But if we're together, it's a mess.
Oh yeah, still enough.
The epidemic spread across East Asia, and before then, the citizens of that part of the world didn't really
What is
wear
on the
face
left?
masks. Afterwards, however, masks
see
could
it.
be seen in public very frequently. In the same way, doctors and public health experts like Dr. Tom Frieden, the president of Global Health Initiative Resolve to Save Lives, believe the rest of the world could observe a fundamental shift to new hygiene practices. For example, people will be more inclined to wash their hands and wear masks whenever they don't feel well, stopping the spread of more
good, that's
traditional
good.
colds and flu. Number 5. AI will take over.
No.
When we talk about long-lasting improvements developed because of the pandemic, the artificial intelligence sector has reached thousands
can't
of
get COVID
innovations in
either.
this sense. To properly respond to the COVID emergency and lockdown measures, governments worldwide have mobilized machine learning in many ways. From contact tracing apps to telemedicine, we'll get there soon, to remote learning capabilities, there were many technological innovations that were rapidly developed. We've also already mentioned how automatization devices have proved vital in other fields, like travel and grocery shopping. But the growth of AI won't stop there. Paired with robotics, it can create autonomous systems capable of interacting with the physical world. This allows us to predict the
melting my
spread of the
brain, it's
virus,
too early
monitor
for this.
infection, conduct
At 3
contact
PM.
tracing, and so on. According to the Centre for Strategic and International Studies, the pandemic has accelerated the overall pace of innovation in the AI field, to the point that by 2030,
Damn.
AI could comprise $15.7 trillion of the world economy.
Right.
Number 4.
Okay.
Cash free. One
Cash
of the
is
more
gone.
direct consequences of the growth of AI is the abandoning of cash.
Bitcoin!
In fact, part of AI development also
Bitcoin!
involve a
He's
full
just trying to shield
automation of
coin.
online banking and fast payments. Does this mean that COVID's not directly related to it? Not really. It makes sense that COVID is directly related to this acceleration. You see, cash is one of the dirtiest things in the world, not only figuratively, but literally. Coins and banknotes
Harry's
pass
under.
from hand to hand, carrying germs within each exchange.
It's true,
So
you know,
when the
money's like one of
pandemic
the
kicked off,
grubbiest things in the world. Like, if you got I got any cash in my wallet?
I've got some
I've
cash
got
in my wallet.
what the hell is it? I got 10 dirhams. Where do they spend dirhams?
UAE.
Dubai.
I didn't go to Dubai during the pandemic, don't worry, boys.
And
But,
Morocco, right?
But this note is terrible, grotty. It's been
It
touched,
might have
it's been
seen some shit
spat on.
as well. Like, it might have been
Yeah,
all
it's-
places.
It's been off someone's ass. I don't know, like,
What?
What?
As reported by the Financial Times, since the beginning of the pandemic, ATM transaction volumes fell significantly across the world. In the UK, for example, transactions dropped 62%, and in Spain, cash reached a 90% drop. As stated previously, COVID alone is not responsible for the digital payment shift, but it has very much made the process quicker. According to the World Economic Forum, this could lead to 50% of goods consumption primarily being done online by 2030. Number 3. Remote working. In the past year, companies have realised that most office work could be easily done remotely. In most cases, all you need is a laptop and semi-decent Wi-Fi connection. So why limit remote working to the current crisis when you could save money on the office rent, while the employees who work for you do the same job at home permanently?
Like 50%
in fact,
of
if we
people
put the
in
whole
Zoom
COVID
calls
situation...
aren't wearing trousers.
Well, are you wearing
only
trousers
see the
right
top
now?
half, right? So comfort.
Yeah, you wear
Harry,
like
you're wearing trousers
a
right
shirt
now?
with a tie or something, and then you just don't wear anything underneath.
Oh yeah, I definitely would do that. If you told me how to dress smart and I knew my top half was just showing, I don't even.
I've seen you stream on Twitch in your boxes.
In boxes, yeah.
Yeah, because my legs have to breathe, boys.
And you
Like,
get
shorts,
up and
though.
walk around.
Just wear shorts.
yeah, but I forget.
He's not as bad as JJ on Insta Live, though. Remember that?
That one was bad.
That was mad.
One of the first perks is of course the flexibility of it, but workers have also noticed an increase in productivity, a healthier work-life balance, and general improved job satisfaction. Of course, one may argue that there's not really much to do right now anyway, so working at home actually helps pass the time. Still, the data looks convincing enough to hypothesize that in the immediate future we will see a switch to a more flexible work schedule. In fact, according to the National Bureau of Economic Research, more than 35% of employers believe that 40% of their current remote workers will permanently work from home.
Permanently.
Number 2.
That'll save them
Permanently.
so much peace. Think how much it costs to rent offices in like London and shit.
People have more free time. They could have to travel to work and back. Like, yeah.
Be more
money.
efficient, more productive.
One of the biggest industries in the world is facing a crisis. There's no need to say that movie theatres are not doing well at the moment. Streaming services, on the other hand, are booming. This has led many film studios, like Warner Brothers Pictures and Disney, to release their projects on streaming platforms in lieu of in theatres. From an audience point of view, that's great. Not only because, again, during the pandemic, we can't
Did he
leave our
turn you on
houses, but because watching a new release on your
Fuck's sake.
TV can actually be cheaper. From a studio point of view, streaming releases can easily avoid all the long negotiations with theatre chains. For cinema lovers, though, this could mark the end of the movie experience as we know it for good.
No.
They are, in fact, worried that
You don't even
streaming
watch
releases
films.
will become the new
Yeah, I know,
normal,
I hate it
stopping
anyway.
theatres from reopening ever again.
Go, Les.
Number 1. Healthcare. The pandemic has challenged some of the world's brightest scientific minds, and obviously governments are pushing for a quick recovery for the sake of economies. These two facts put together coincided with the general stronger focus on the healthcare system. As mentioned before, the enormous growth of AI and the technological side of healthcare brought up significant advancements to the sector. Telehealth, for example, has played a big role in the fight against COVID. It helped to mitigate the risk of spreading the virus by reducing unnecessary hospital visits. This gives telehealth high chances to last even after the emergency. In fact, a report by
I used
McKinsey...
this kind of thing before. I had tonsillitis. I just FaceTimed the doctor. He looked in my mouth and told me what I needed, and I went and got picked up from Boots.
When he
How long
prescribed you
ago
it
was that?
on
So
the
you had
call.
to did you just describe or did you like lift your camera?
No, I sent him photos and everything. I sent him photos of my mouth. He looked at it. He's like, "How are you feeling?" I was explaining the feeling. It was
It makes sense, I guess.
Minutes.
Especially if you're like ill, like it's ain't contagious, ain't you going out?
Yeah,
Like when you're ill and you go,
it's
you
way better.
got like a really bad flu or something, and you go to the doctor and it's like, okay, we'll just spread it.
Spread
Well,
it.
done, mate.
Yeah.
You've cut the entire waiting room now. Thank you.
Yeah.
But apart from that, there's been a general acceleration of policies, changes to health promotion, and more support for vulnerable people in communities in Europe. Particular attention has been given to mental health services too, with specific apps and video call sessions for those struggling. So those are 10 ways the world will change
Basically,
after COVID.
life's still gonna kind of suck after.
It's gonna be different.
Hey, that's not the attitude.
No, it'll be
none of that
amazing
was
because
really
we'll
good.
appreciate life more afterwards.
Yeah,
so
it'd be
that's
grand.
None of that was really good, was it?
You can see
Nah, a
that.
couple
What will
things,
change
like
is you can see your
travel.
friends when instead of working.
What there was good about travel?
You can do it again.
The toilets that alert you when they need cleaning. That was good.
The fact that people around you will be washing their
Airports
hands.
are going to be a little bit cleaner.
Yeah.
That is the change that benefits us.
At least you can go to the
None of the
airport and
positive
travel.
changes.
Now, but we're talking about from before, Josh. Post-COVID to pre-COVID.
Telemedicine is an improvement.
People's
there you go.
hygiene, personal hygiene is improving.
The online doctor, that's kind of cool.
AI is pretty good. Like,
You've been doing that for time, though, Harry.
but they added more of it.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
accelerated it. Cash being gone is good.
If anyone get any cash they don't want, I'll take it. Yeah, well, there we go. Always look on the bright side of life. It's gonna be all right in the end. We hope. We
We
pray.
hope. Yep.